I'm Gita and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the director of community relations. So basically, my position works with different campus communities and specifically like living communities. That's kind of a bit narrow because I also work with like transfer students, international students, where like they might not necessarily be like in a living community, but on the living side, works this year's a lot with RCSA, which is the dorm council, Panhellenic, which is one of the like Greek councils that serves female identifying students, and then a little bit with IFC. But yeah, my main communities this year have been RCSA, Panhellenic, transfer students, and international students. I've been involved with ASUW since sophomore year. I'm a senior. And so I started out just in Senate as like a senator and then kind of worked my way up through different leadership positions within that. And then worked within like different like entities like the formerly it was called the Women's Action Commission, now it's the Gender Equity. I worked with that, worked with the EAC, which is the administration, and so the Elections Administration Committee. So basically I kind of got a taste of a lot of different facets of ASUW, and I really liked that it brings together passionate students that can make real change on campus. And then in terms of this position specifically, basically, so I'm in a sorority, I'm in a Panhellenic sorority, and actually my position has been held by women from that sorority. I'm like the third person from like my sorority. So
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, people may not necessarily love that, but honestly, like those women who came before me, Alex Schroeder and then Sarah Shacklin, was it like 2-ish years ago? They've been great mentors and friends to me. So
Yeah.
when Mustafa asked me to like run on like kind of the informal ticket, I was very nervous, but I was like, these women before me did it. They were able to balance the different aspects that come with like being in a sorority and other, academic commitments. And so, yeah, just that mix of ASUW experience and knowing people in the position. Kind of weird, but I kind of just wish the students knew about ASUW because I feel like um, there's a lot of great services, a lot of great events that happen that student leaders, put time and like commit so much of their energy, heart, and soul. And like these events are really great. And I just feel like in general, like the average student may not know about it. And I can understand why, because I think even myself, when I joined Senate as a sophomore, I was a little put off. I was like, I don't know if I like this. I'm sure you've seen there's a lot of discussion on like misogyny in Senate and like whiteness in Senate and all that. And I do think that it's improved a lot, but I do think that as a space, it's a little intimidating. And so I just wish that more students were more comfortable coming to ASUW and like just knew about it. And that's sort of what my role does. Like a big part of it is working with these communities to like tell them about ASUW resources, as well as figuring out like how these communities can like work with ASUW. So yeah, that's kind of like, I just wish more people knew about it and more students realize the benefits ASUW could have for them. Okay, so I guess my most rewarding experience right now has been working with OISA. So that's the Office of International Student Advocacy. What's really cool about this office is I was in Senate 2 years ago at its inception. It was created through student advocacy that realized there needs to be a space to advocate for international students on campus. There wasn't one. So I kind of saw like how the sausage was made in terms of creating this entity. And it's really cool to see it come to fruition. This is the first year it's been created and been in existence. And Shinzi and Adrian, who are the respectively, Adrian's the director, Shinzi, I believe, is the assistant director. Anyways, so they are great. And what's awesome is neither of them had actually really done much with ASUW, but they bring this really great energy and perspective. So I do like a weekly one-on-one with them, and they check in with me just to like update me on what's going on. Cause like I said, my position works with international students. So I kind of like am their liaison to the board. But anyways, they brought to me an idea about how they wanted to get more like authentic options in the dining hall. And right now they're working on that. And it was really cool to hear them kind of spout that idea off. And then now, like, we had the meetings with HFS, and now there's like a whole task force, and like progress is going to be made. So I think it's really cool to see not only like the inception of the entity, but to see the like meet the people, work with them that are actually involved, and then see them actually make progress with their different projects. So I guess for me personally, the whole Rent College Pads, I don't know if you're aware of what that is. Basically, they are like a third party housing site, and this has been a project that like ASUW in my position specifically has been working on for years, like before I was even in ASUW. And yeah, so basically we're working on like getting it finalized, but if it like works out, it'll basically be like a third party that will help students find housing, and kind of like your one-stop shop for like housing listings and like landlord reviews and tenant services and stuff. And it's been a really hard battle for a couple different reasons to get that. Historically, there's been a lot of I don't want to say like some resistance from like admin and questions about it, but myself and Michael, got to give him a lot of credit too, who's the director of campus partnerships. Him and I, especially fall quarter, were meeting all the time, and we coordinated meetings like UW IT, UW procurement, really worked with UW and admin and like this company to make sure that it was right. They, it's gone through the paces, and it's in the final, it's very long because everything with UW is bureaucratic. So it's in the final stages
Yeah.
of like the contract review, and we've gotten a couple updates that hopefully are positive, and we've gotten like the okay from like the IT and everyone. So hopefully that'll be able to be up and running soon. But it's really cool to be able to like finish out this project that I know people from before me had worked so hard to get. Like I want to just tell them, hey, like these elections are happening. We can do as much promo as we want, but the turnout is always like sadly low. So people should just vote if they are able to and like want to, or like they should at least try and get informed about it. But like for those that maybe know about it and are like excited to see the candidates or whatever, give them grace. This is a very hard position. And applaud those that are stepping up to at least try to run and try to make a difference. This is a commitment, a heavy commitment. Like you are very busy. And so, yeah, those would be my two sort of messages. But main one is just like, these are happening. Like, please vote when the elections open up. Myself and the vice president, Caitlin, we are working on like an ASUW awareness week for like the first week of spring quarter. So March 28th through April 1st. It's going to be a series of different events, including like panels about different kind of like a advocacy panel, a policy and legislation panel, and a programming panel. So you can sort of learn about different entities. Also, there'll be like resume workshops and cover letter workshops because the spring jobs like campaign is coming up. And so if you, any of the entity directors, any of that sort of those roles that you apply for, that are not elected, those applications are coming up. And I think they do require like a resume and cover letter and a pretty like lengthy interview. So we're doing the best to like prepare people. And then it'll culminate in like a social on April 1st at the Hub bowling alley with like pizza and stuff. And we just want the goal of it is just to introduce people to ASUW, get everyone back in the swing of hopefully being like fully in person. And we want as many people from various backgrounds and groups on campus to be applying. So yeah.